You're disassociating from it.
I tried.
Yeah.
I do try, otherwise I
Yeah.
would be vegetarian.
It's going to be a well-done car.
Oh.
I thought you would appreciate that. I thought every song is just about another team.
It's called like the F1 or something. And it's just 9 tracks of them slagging off
Just
other
slagging
teams.
off all like the mid to lower table.
That would sell well.
It would.
Like,
It would.
I would buy that.
Yeah, it would.
Hello and welcome to the On Track GP podcast. Very exciting. I mean, we are back. It's the new year. I feel like it's been weeks already.
Yeah,
Do you
feels
feel,
it.
Do you feel like last week felt like
Christmas.
forever?
The longest week ever.
It actually was the longest week ever. Considering
Yeah.
we didn't go back to work until like a Tuesday, I felt like by the time I got to Friday, I was like, oh my God, is it still the same week?
And we've still got like 6 weeks until the season's back.
I know.
But we have the Netflix to come
We've got
out.
Drive to Survive coming
That will
soon.
help.
Oh, bring it on.
That will help. That always helps. Once that comes out, I'm good.
Yeah.
Because that takes me,
Do you know what I love? I love that you're wearing, Matisse, a Red Bull jacket
Accidental.
today. Accidental. I love that
Yeah.
you've got a Ferrari jacket on with a Haas hat.
Well, they supply the engine. They're a baby team of them, you know. It's fine. It's all part. It's all under the Ferrari umbrella.
Ferrari
But that's
hat.
weird. Why
It
are you
is.
wearing Red Bull?
Don't know.
Do you support Mercedes and McLaren?
Every time I put it on, I feel dirty. Honestly.
It doesn't look right on you.
I'm glad it doesn't.
But you're welcome to come over to the dark side. You're welcome. You're welcome. Right, we do have some news though. I know it's obviously kind of the off season at the minute, but Alfa Romeo has a new name.
What is it?
I'll tell you, it's really exciting.
Oh dear.
Really
Go
exciting.
on.
It's called the Steak F1 team, and not a steak that you can eat. Steak is in Stake.
This is exactly the thing that I thought when I first saw the video come out. I thought they were naming it like after a piece of meat.
like sirloin. Or
Yeah.
fillet.
But you didn't know that was a company?
No, I didn't.
Really? Okay. Because I was saying before we started that Drake is sponsored by them. And I didn't realize.
Steak and Drake.
Steak
It
and Drake.
rhymes.
I didn't
Steak
realize.
with
I
Drake.
didn't realize
Take
it
a
was in the
steak
promo
from
mix.
Drake and
But,
make your dreams come
It's
true.
massive betting company, I think. So.
Yeah.
But how that's going to look on the car?
Well, yes.
Not too keen.
No, little pieces of meat all over it.
Yeah,
just
like
to
just a meat
touch it.
print.
Yeah. I don't know how sort of aerodynamic steaks are, but
I mean, the car's going to be shaped like a steak.
Okay,
Or like,
yeah.
like a baby cow.
like the emoji one. Like,
Yeah.
that's so mean, like a baby cow.
To be fair, steak does come
When you
from a
say
baby
it like that,
cow.
it doesn't sound so
No, I
appetizing
mean, I also
anymore.
don't like to think that a steak comes from a baby cow.
You're disassociating from it.
I tried.
Yeah.
I do try, otherwise I
Yeah.
would be vegetarian.
It's going to be a well-done car?
Oh.
I thought you would appreciate that. I thought you'd appreciate that.
Come on.
Right out of
Do you know
your
what
book.
that was? That was rare from you.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
I want to come out with one. I feel left out.
You really need to hurry up because you're running out of
Yeah.
options here.
No, I'm just gonna grill myself and call it a day.
I like it.
Jesus Christ.
Right, if you've got any steak puns, send them in. Let us know.
Not even the name of the team. That's
Yeah,
hilarious.
put it in the comments. But anyway, back to Steak F1 team. It is Alfa Romeo. It's their new name ahead of the 2024 season. They're going to be known as that until obviously Audi come in and take over and make them a proper team.
Can I say something controversial?
2026.
Rubbish name.
Yeah, rubbish.
It is a rubbish
Alfa
Steak
Romeo is much better.
F1.
Well, I guess because it's a gambling company, it's like your steak.
Yeah.
But
So-
have we got other teams that are just literally company named? I'm trying to think now.
Well, I guess they are named after like the car manufacturer.
Yeah, but that's fine.
Well,
Like,
Red
not
Bull is a
after-
company name. Red Bull is named after a
That's
drink.
true. When
So-
Red Bull came out, I was like, why are they naming this after a rubbish drink?
Yeah.
And now I have it all the
It's- it's
time.
Now it's
after
just
a
like
drink,
kind
yeah.
of just, you kind of just take it on now. It's
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if there's any others really.
Not really too many on that
No,
palette.
not really
Williams,
too many.
Ferrari.
Unless we're missing one and we're going to get absolutely hounded in the comments. We've got like a really important.
Really
but yeah,
important
I mean,
pass.
Alfa Romeo felt like, oh, there's clearly
it's
a
a
car.
car.
Steak, yeah, it doesn't. I don't really know what it is. I mean, maybe. I mean, it's only. And the other thing, it's only been for 2 years.
Yeah, it's only for 2 years until Audi do come in. So it's just like, look, they obviously need a bit of revenue. Like,
Yeah.
Red Bull
let's not
sounds
lie.
quick though.
Yeah, Red Bull because it's like, whoo,
Yeah.
like because it
Red
makes
Bull
you
gives you wings. Exactly.
Yeah,
Steak.
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 Leaves you bloated
They're
after.
going to get cooked.
Oh, it took a while.
Jesus.
Come on.
Haas is named after machinery. Thank you, Colin.
Okay, nice. And I'm wearing the
Wondering
Oh,
hat.
for that one.
Yes,
yeah.
you're in
Yeah.
that. It's
Yeah,
like I'm
yeah,
just
yeah.
looking at your Tropicana. It's like calling a car like the Tropicana red, like Tropicana.
Just
thing.
Tropicana.
Yeah, just Tropicana.
Just Tropicana F1.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel
cool.
about the name. I mean, I suppose
I
it's
don't
only
like
a name.
it. I'm
It
just
doesn't.
gonna say I don't like it at all.
No, you're not into it. No,
No.
me neither.
I'm not
No,
gonna
but
enjoy
Drake, they are sponsored. Sorry, Drake is sponsored by Steak.
Yeah.
Which is random. So he was, as you mentioned, in the reveal video on January the 1st.
Yeah.
Is he gonna like rap about the car?
Imagine he releases like diss tracks on Alpine and stuff. I mean, that would be
That'd be
hilarious.
so
I'd be
good.
so into that.
I'd be fully into that.
I'd be so
Imagine
down.
how good that would be.
What an album. Just
Yeah.
every song is just
Yeah.
about another team.
It's called like the F1 or something, and it's just 9 tracks
Yeah.
of them slagging off
Just
other
slagging
teams.
off all like the mid
I'd be
mid to lower table.
That would sell well.
It would.
Like,
It would.
I would buy that.
Yeah, it would. It would.
I think
And it would
we're gonna definitely
branch
hear
out
it
the
at some
sport
point.
as well. They're looking to do that, bring in
Yeah.
new viewers. That would do that. So.
Yeah, it would work.
I'm
Yeah.
here for it.
It did feel a bit weird when Drake was announcing like a 2-year name for an F1 team. You sort of wake up on New Year's Day going, "What? Am I still
Am I
drunk?
still
What's
drunk?"
going on?"
And also, it's a bit random because it's like Alfa Romeo, like not to disrespect, Alfa Romeo, but it's not like the most bougie brand.
No.
Like it's a pretty crappy car. Like
Yeah.
if we're looking about what's on the
Yeah.
grid, so like you wouldn't probably think it was out of context if it was like Mercedes or Ferrari or Red Bull, but like to see Drake with an Alfa Romeo, which can like barely go around the track.
I feel like Drake would have been best associated with like an Aston Martin.
Yeah, that would fit him.
That would make
I
sense.
see him as like Mercedes.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
They're going to make a hell of a lot of money though, Stake.
Oh, yeah, for
I mean,
sure.
I imagine it's not a poor company.
I reckon
Stake.
they've
No,
got-
they
Did
got
you say
money.
they
No.
sponsor? Who do they sponsor?
They
as
sponsor
well?
Everton.
Everton.
as well.
Everton, yeah.
Yeah.
So like,
They've
yeah,
got
I
a
mean,
big stake in it.
oh no.
Here for a good time, not a long time, boys. Okay. Right, moving on. We're still staying with Stake F1, but the initial kind of social media post has been black and a neon green color. I don't
Neon
know.
green?
Neon green colorway
That is their, I
on
think
a
that's
car.
their colours, yeah.
Okay.
Just picture it.
I
Neon
am.
green and black livery,
I'm thinking
Aston
a
Martin.
poor man's Aston Martin.
Yeah, broke Aston Martin.
Yeah.
which is what it is.
Yeah. Well, yikes. Yeah. I mean, look, maybe this is going to be this massive injection of pace. They're not just going to waste 2 years before they become Audi, and this could be quite a big turning point for them. Am I getting ahead of myself?
Yes.
Yes.
Probably.
I think they're still going to be very, very bang
Because it's
average,
just
aren't they?
because it's just 2 years. I just
It's
can't.
a stopgap. Like this is
Yeah.
a stopgap until Audi are in the building.
Yeah.
Like this is very clear, definitely. The launch of this car is on the 5th of Feb, so we'll have to wait and see. But do you think that'll be a nice livery and not so nice? Bit Halloweeny for me.
It depends on how big. It depends how much stake are on that livery. Because if they've called themselves Stake F1, so that tells me this is like as big as it gets for sponsorship in terms of they are going to take over that entire car. It's going to be stake plastered all over the car. If that is the case, then it's not going to look great.
I wonder if they're still. I mean, generally, they you see some of the cars have like up to like 100 different tiny little
sponsors. Yeah,
sponsors
yeah.
on them.
Yeah.
I wonder if Stake,
just
how
gonna
much of it they've taken over, or whether there's still going to be the
Also,
little bits
like,
and bobs around.
If you can like envision like the Everton shirt, for example, with the wording of Stake, I don't know if you'll be able to
not
vision
nice.
it, but like it's not like the coolest writing. It reminds me a
No.
bit of like a pet insurance company.
Times New Roman, are we talking?
No, it's not even Times New. It's a bit like squiggly. and,
Yeah.
like,
Oh no,
it's just-
trying to be cool.
Yeah, it's just a bit. I could see it being like pet friends.
It's not very nice.
I do love it when we get into livery season though. That's like
Yes.
that's like,
Yes,
hey,
yes.
we're getting close, everybody.
We're
And
getting
someone
closer.
always brings out an absolute like banging car. And last year for me it was Alfa Romeo, and it was a rubbish car. It was so slow, but it looked so good, the black and the red. So maybe if they've got the same designers in, the neon green and the black might work.
Yeah.
And
Well,
it
it still
could be a very-
is, I
Ferrari.
guess.
Oh,
It still is, I guess, an Alfa Romeo. So it's
Yeah.
still going to have that. It's still going to have to feature the colours of an Alfa Romeo.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Controversially, talking about liveries, I've got a bit of an idea. I have a feeling the Ferrari this year might be red. Just putting that out there.
Wow.
Well, no, what type of
I'm in
red? Because
shock.
not last year, the year before, you guys came with this really nice, like dark.
Yeah, we had a darker red.
Oh.
I mean, and it was like such a big thing as well. Like Ferrari have gone dark red.
So nice.
3% darker.
Yeah, it was 3% darker.
I feel like Ferrari has to be that
was
red.
so
Like
nice.
Ferrari red, that's the colour.
Correct.
It was so
They
nice.
do a whole nail polish in Ferrari red.
Yeah. Do they?
They do.
Nice.
Have you got
Maybe
it?
I'll get it for when
I've
we
worn
win
it
our
before,
next
yes.
race.
It's literally it's called Ferrari red because it's so specific to the colour.
When we win a race, I'll paint my nails Ferrari red.
Love it.
Lord heavens.
Deal.
Lord heavens.
I'm in for it.
Just while we're still on stake, the use of the word stake, this is actually quite interesting. Due to the company that is focused on gambling and betting, the team will also be known as Kick F1 Team.
Oh,
In
God,
countries
yeah.
where advertising for gambling is
course.
not allowed.
Of course.
So this is the subsidiary platform,
Heaven.
Kick FC. In the F1 game, Alfa Romeo stake is known as Alfa Romeo Kick due to this reason. So it's a little bit confusing.
What a mess.
It is.
So
it's
basically, in
ridiculous.
in probably the UAE countries or China,
Yeah.
Yeah, so it will be.
you're not going to have stake.
Abu Dhabi, Qatar,
Qatar.
Bahrain,
Saudi Arabia.
Saudi, maybe China,
Maybe
as you
China.
said as well. I
China,
mean, we're talking like maybe up to like a quarter of the races.
It's
They're
gonna
going to be
be
known as a different team.
So then I guess that means different livery for that.
Has to be, surely, because they can't have if it's illegal to bet in the country, you can't have the betting company plastered all
No.
over it. I don't understand that one bit. I mean, well,
Wild.
obviously it's a money decision, but
Yeah.
it just also kick. I don't really know. I don't really know what that is.
Alfa Romeo kick.
Football.
What?
Yeah, it's very football based. It's
Yeah.
very football based.
Reminds me
Weird.
of Sauber was sponsored by Chelsea, which was odd.
Wait, who?
I think it was Sauber.
We're sponsored by the football team,
They were
Chelsea.
sponsored by Chelsea.
mad. I
think
By
they
Roman.
had the whole badge on the.
But was
on
it
the collar.
Roman? Was Roman Abramovich
Oh
funding
yeah,
it? Yeah.
But it was the badge was on what would be Chelsea,
Chelsea
limited
Sauber.
company or whatever.
Yeah,
But it
right.
was Chelsea's badge on the car.
Random.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
random.
Can't remember what year that was.
Yeah, so that's something to look out for because we will have to change the name depending on the race that we're covering.
Well, first race of the year then.
Yeah, basically. So instead,
So they're not going to be called
so
State. They're going to be
gonna
called
the
Kick.
Kick F1 team.
Oh, weird.
Absolute
Really weird.
mess of a team.
Very
I'm
odd.
already disillusioned with them this season.
Yeah.
It's very peculiar. Do we have any kind of like predictions for like Valtteri, Bottas, and Zhou this season?
I think Zhou did okay last year. Didn't set the world alight, but kind of kept up enough with kept himself out of trouble and kept up enough with Valtteri. I think realistically, we're not going to see any improvement until Audi come in any dramatic way whatsoever.
Especially in comparison to other teams.
Yeah,
So I think
with the other people are
back
going.
of the grid, they're going to be
10th.
maybe 9th, 5th, But
Wow.
I think they'll be back there, yeah. I really do.
Do you think?
I can't see this as much more than just a stopgap.
No,
I
I
can't
agree.
see heavy amounts of investment and heavy amounts of development and improvement in comparison to other teams that are actually, fixed in their ways and have a serious kind of plan going forward. I think these guys already, they're going to be two different teams' names. I just can't see.
They've got no identity.
Yeah,
How do you
there's no
support a team that changes
no
its name?
identity.
It's true.
I can't see it being.
Well, like we said, it is just a
I
stopgap.
can't see them pulling
Yeah.
up trees.
Stopgap.
Yeah. No, I think that things will change in 26 when Audi come in. But it does. I mean, I'd love to be like, oh yeah, this is going to be the great year. And every team has a moment throughout the season. And Alfa Romeo had it last season. Remember, they qualified 5th and 7th on the grid. And then poor Joe's, I think it was his anti-stall went wrong. And because Valtteri was 2 places behind him, he was behind him. And it all just went disastrously wrong. So I'm sure they'll have a moment throughout the season. But I don't think realistically I can't see them above 7th. Surely that was the best they can go for would
I
be that.
agree. I can't see that happening. All right, let's move on. We've got another very interesting development here. The FIA have approved Andretti's global proposal to join the F1 grid as an 11th team in F1. It's not yet agreed by Formula One management, so obviously that has to wait and see. It currently competes in IndyCar. Formula E, Extreme E, the Australian Supercar Series. It's won the Indy 500 5 times under the Andretti name, and it's won Season 9 Drivers' Championship with Jake Dennis in Formula E. However, this would mean 11 teams. It's an odd number. It means the prize money is obviously not split, I guess, evenly as well. I'm not sure how well this is going to go down with the rest of the grid.
Well, 11 teams is, each team has to basically take a 10% hit of prize money to be able to go in. F1 made money last year, so they have a little bit more, but I think we're going to see quite a lot of kickback, to be completely honest, from the other kick. I didn't even need to do that.
I like it.
I thought you did.
No, I didn't. And you looked at me with such joy. I think the other teams, I think will push back on it. It's also kind of weird that the FIA say yes before Formula One does. It feels like it should be the other way
around.
It's
It does
very
feel like it should be the
odd.
other way around.
Yeah.
odd.
I don't know. I mean, he's a proven entity, Andretti, not within Formula One, but within motorsport. Absolutely.
Yeah.
He is a success story, and this has been going on for so long.
Yeah.
I personally kind of lean on the side of change is good. Bring it on. Have a couple more drivers on. I know he's keen to support American drivers and bring another American driver in as well, across from one of his other teams in Indy. But I don't know. I think controversially, bring it on. Let's see what happens. Let's shake things up a bit.
So you think there should definitely be more than 10 teams?
I think why not? I mean, of course there are going to be, negatives to it with the prize money, and you have to change some of the tracks because to fit having 22 cars rather than 20 cars going around, and and that is expensive. But I think we shouldn't just do everything
Dismiss
the same because we've done it the same way for so long.
agree.
Bring it on.
Yeah.
Have a bit of change. Shake it up a bit.
I think what would probably happen is instead of being 11, it would likely go to 12.
That's what I would
teams
want. Yeah.
To be even.
Yeah.
And kind of the cons of this would be that, the current venues would obviously have to undergo kind of expansions to accommodate 12 teams or even 11 teams, to make room for Andretti.
Yeah.
I think, from my personal opinion, with how the money is, obviously money is everything in F1. The smallest of margins can make or break a car. In terms of financially, I think that where you've got like the Hasses and the Alfa Romeos, the Williams, those cars that are kind of middle to back end of the grid, would they want any more prize money taken away from them?
Oh, definitely not.
By having another 1 or 2 cars on the grid. I can't see it happening.
Such a good point.
I can't see them saying, yeah, let's add another 2 drivers. It's different for Red Bull, it's different for Mercedes, and it's different for Ferrari. But, and probably McLaren and Aston, maybe. But the rest of those other 5 teams, I don't necessarily think it's that fair on them.
Fair isn't. I don't know if it's fair or not, because sport goes through change all the time. And I think, for me, I wouldn't be opposed to it just purely if it brings more entertainment to the sport. The sport right now last season was diabolical, just flat.
But if we're talking about being competitive and taking more money away from these teams that are already struggling to kind of compete with, the kind of upper echelon of the grid, then how are they going to do that when there's 2 more teams in the mix?
Well, maybe F1, this will have to be a negotiation between the teams and the body, but maybe they're going to have to pump more money in. If they're going to add more teams, they're going to have to put more money in so people don't lose out as much and there's a bit of a compromise. But I wouldn't be against having a couple more teams in. I think also, if we're talking about who it could help, is drivers trying to get into Formula One. There's so many limited spaces as it is, coming in from F2, coming in from all of these different kind of branches and these kind of pillars of the sport, and they can't get in most of the time. And this season, we're barely going to see any driver changes. So to have a few more teams and to allow people that are performing at a really good level to actually have a chance of getting through, I think would be good as well. So it might bring so much more things to F1 that we've been lacking. Diversity, like we might see more women's drivers, and I don't know, like it just gives more opportunity
on the grid.
There's more drivers on the grid, there's more chance.
2 more seats is a hell of a lot more seats.
Yeah, the percentage go up.
I really hope that we do see women drivers on the grid. I think it's crazy that we don't.
I just think you made such a good point there, Abbi, about like the teams like Ferrari, Mercedes, Red Bull. They can gamble the idea of we are okay to lose a little bit, with the idea of potentially gaining a hell of a lot more if Andretti does bring in more money to the sport, the prize money goes up.
Yeah.
But the littler teams, like the Hasses, as you've just said, they can't afford that gamble of losing 10% of whatever their prize money is to accommodate. So
they struggle already to make a car that can compete and be good for 50, 60 laps. So if you have another 1 or 2 cars, that's 4 more cars on the grid. I'm not sure that they'll really go for it. Just very quickly, we will talk about some pros and just a bit more kind of about Andretti in case it does happen. You mentioned about having, more American drivers. Again, this kind of all leads into the Drive to Survive aspect.
Liberty Media,
We know that interest in motorsport, especially F1, has gone up by 400% since Drive to Survive in America. And that's why we're seeing so many American races as well, because it's all about the revenue. So it would be a good pull for that reason. I think they would probably put IndyCar driver Colton Herta in to the car as well, alongside another experienced driver in the team. And as you mentioned, that's more drivers. That's helping more Americans, to kind of further their interest in the sport, which again is what the FIA and F1 in general want. And one of the biggest automotive manufacturing groups in the world, General Motors, they have been linked with Andretti as the power unit supplier under their Cadillac brand, which is also quite cool.
So American, isn't it?
So
Cadillac.
American.
They just put a Mustang on the grid.
I was going to say, just get a Mustang. Just call it Mustang Sally. But Cadillac in November revealed that they did actually sign on with the FIA as a power unit supplier from 2028, and if the Andretti F1 team is approved, they will power the car.
Wow.
So it's extremely American.
That would be so interesting,
it's
though.
awesome.
It's great.
It's going to be awesome.
Now, all that just makes me want to see it more.
Yeah.
I'm very intrigued now.
We're just trying to Americanize the sport, guys. That's literally what they're doing.
Yeah. But they need to get rid of Miami.
Bit of sports washing here.
Get rid of Miami. Rubbish track, rubbish race.
I don't think they will. I think if anything, we're going to see even more American races.
That's something I don't want to see.
But
to be
I don't
Miami's
want them to
rubbish
s-
as a car park.
I don't want them to sacrifice the great historic European races
Correct.
and South
You know what they'll
American
do? They'll add
races.
more races. They've already done that,
Yeah,
right,
yeah,
to the
true.
calendar.
They have.
And
they have.
drivers will definitely complain about that as well. There'll be less testing
Sack off
season.
Miami,
less-
get South Africa.
They're gonna, I want
That's
South
the
Africa
one.
badly.
That's the one.
That's
I'm
South
all I
Africa
want.
would
If
be
I can get that
amazing.
on the calendar, that's all I'm.
South
So
Africa
keen.
would be so cool.
But they're gonna have more races. They're gonna definitely. It's the same with other sports. They're trying to push for more games, more events. They're gonna push for way more races.
But
on
they
the
will.
calendar.
Well, if they don't get rid of, some of the tracks, I don't know how many more they can add because I think we had 4 American last year. I think that will probably get up to 6.
Oh, that's too many, isn't it?
If they've got an American car on the grid, they're going to want to absolutely maximise.
Well, they do
it.
in a Haas, but it's just rubbish.
Yeah, it's a
Sorry,
shit car.
guys.
It's a crap car.
Yeah, it's not a car that's ever going to compete. Although, did you see Gunter Steiner came out this week and said, if we had Adrian Newey and we had a Red Bull, Nico would win races and Kevin. He sort of added Kevin at the end.
Jesus
Like
Christ.
Nico would
Literally
win
like
races
saying-
and Kevin.
It's like saying if I had wings, I could fly.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't, so
Yeah.
I can't. I actually might take his book on holiday with me. I'm thinking I might.
Oh my god, I haven't read it yet. Have you read it?
No.
Oh, I really want to.
I think I might. I think it could provide me with some laughs.
He's such a character.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see him in Drive to Survive. I'm sure he's got a moment in there.
I'm excited to see him. Can't wait.
Some of my favourite moments of Drive to Survive last season was him and Bonotto just like going around
Yeah,
in
in
a
the
little
car.
Fiat 500 just driving around the Italian hills.
through the country.
So sweet.
So sweet, the little friendship that
Adorable.
they've got.
I
I
absolutely
always
love
felt
it.
like that was too good to be true. Like, surely this is scripted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is like on purpose. they're
Well, to
doing
be
this.
fair, at that point, I don't think Binotto realised he was out of job. So,
No.
yeah.
I wonder if we're going to see him back, by the way, at some point. I hope so.
I hope so too, but I don't think Ferrari are going to be. He's not going to be coming back to Ferrari.
No, he won't go
Who
back
was
to
that
Ferrari.
that strolled
Maybe
on-
Andretti. Who
Who was it
knows?
that
Could
appeared
be
on the
the
grid? That was it.
Andretti.
Massey that appeared on the grid randomly in one of the tracks. And,
Michael Massey,
yeah,
the man that ruined
I
2021.
think it was him. He was at one of the
As far as
tracks.
he wasn't egged.
I
in that-
don't think you ruined 2021. Michael. I don't.
Oh,
You made
so
it special.
I'm taking off this jacket and dashing it.
Right, guys.
Why are you wearing a Red Bull coat?
Yeah,
Gotta
you're a,
wear something
you're a
F1's,
traitor.
that's what it said.
if anything. Thank you very much, guys. Joe, Matisse, lovely chatting with you this morning. Of course, we will be back with all your F1 content. We've just got another 6 weeks to go until we are
Bring it
back
on.
in action. But from Feb, at least we get to see liveries
Yeah.
and Drive to Survive and everything good. So thank you very much. This has been On Track GP. See you soon.